Kachi, a top security agent, falls in love with the arrogant son of a senator who disrespects and rudely addresses her. You will be amazed to find out how their story begins. Kindly subscribe to this channel to watch more of our latest Nollywood movies. If you have already seen this movie, stay tuned for insights we will reveal that you might have missed. The movie begins with Olumide, the son of a renowned politician, enjoying himself with some ladies on his private airplane. That same night, on his way home, he is in his car with a friend, distracted by his phone. Meanwhile, his father, the politician, receives a call, and his driver notices a car following Olumide from the airport. At the same time, Kachi, the top security agent, is attacked but successfully defends herself. When she gets home, her mother expresses her concern about not being able to sleep while Kachi was away. Kachi then visits her daughter, who pretends to be asleep. Knowing this, Kachi chats with her briefly before leaving her to rest. That night, Olumide is surprised to find his housemaid in the kitchen. He asks her to bring him wine and 2 glasses, pleading with her not to inform his father. He then opens the door for a lady. The following morning, as Kachi is about to take her daughter to school, she receives a call summoning her to work. She explains to her daughter that her grandmother will take her to school instead. Meanwhile, Olumide wakes up his girlfriend and they try to sneak out of the house quietly. However, his father catches them. Displeased, Olumide quickly claims that she is his business partner. The girlfriend leaves, and Olumide also departs. Later that day, Olumide's father introduces Kachi as Olumide's personal bodyguard and lays out the rules. Olumide protests, saying he doesn't want a woman as his bodyguard, but his father rebukes him, explaining that Kachi is highly experienced and the best in the country. In a private conversation, his father insists that Kachi will guard him until he returns from his trip. The next day, Olumide's friend visits him and is surprised to see Kachi. Olumide explains her presence, and his friend teases him before they leave together. At a classy restaurant, Olumide insists that Kachi stay in the car, but she reminds him that his father instructed her to follow him everywhere. She accompanies him while the other guards wait outside. As Olumide and his friend eat, they feel uneasy with Kachi's presence. Olumide sends a waitress to ask Kachi if she would like to eat, but she declines, saying she is fine. Meanwhile, at home, Kachi's daughter tries to cook a meal, but it gets burnt. Her grandmother scolds her, and she walks away upset. When Kachi returns to Olumide's house, the housemaid insists that she eat something. While eating, Kachi receives a call from her mother and speaks to her daughter kindly, explaining the risks of trying to cook alone. Olumide overhears the conversation and is surprised that Kachi is eating. He informs her that they will return late that night. Later, Olumide goes clubbing with his friends while Kachi observes from a distance. Olumide enjoys himself, unaware of her close watch. That same night, when Kachi returns home, she lies on her bed. Her daughter joins her, and they talk before sleeping together. The following morning, Olumide is on a call, expressing his intention to frustrate Kachi into quitting. He then discovers from his driver that she is already inside the house. As Olumide comes downstairs expecting to see Kachi, he finds another guard eating and gets upset. He immediately orders the guard to bring Kachi to him. At the same time, Kachi receives a call from home. When Kachi arrives, Olumide rebukes her for not coming earlier and dismisses her explanation, rudely reminding her that his father hired her solely for the job. They all then go out for a jog. After returning, Kachi receives a call and rushes to a restaurant where she finds her daughter eating with her estranged father, who soon leaves to meet another woman. Kachi warns him about his behavior before taking her daughter home. Later that day, Olumide comes downstairs asking about Kachi. He warns the other guards that she will lose her job if she doesn't meet him at the airport. Determined, Kachi uses a bike to catch up with him. That same day, Olumide gives Kachi strict instructions. Fed up with his disrespectful behavior, Kachi finally responds rudely and quits the job. She then returns home and enjoys quality time with her daughter. Meanwhile, Olumide's father rebukes him for his disrespectful treatment of Kachi. Although Olumide tries to defend himself, his father, knowing his son well, doesn't believe him. He gives Olumide a stern lecture before ending the call, leaving Olumide deep in thought. The following day, as Olumide leaves his restaurant, he hears a strange noise and quickly runs back inside. The security guard teases him, explaining it was just a car tire that burst, and then asks about his bodyguard. Olumide ignores the comment and leaves. When he gets home, the housemaid informs him about the diesel delivery, but he ignores her and instead asks for Kachi's phone number. When she says she doesn't have it, he insults her. The housemaid responds harshly, telling him to ask his father for Kachi's number. That same day, Olumide shows up at Kachi's house. Her daughter answers the door and talks to him before Kachi comes out. Olumide apologizes for his rude behavior and misconduct, asking her to return as his security guard. He also offers her a peace offering. Kachi agrees but warns him never to show up at her house unannounced again. Later, Kachi receives a call from Olumide's father regarding his son's safety. He expresses his trust in her and her team over others. The next day, when Kachi resumes work, Olumide hands her his itinerary and requests that she stay behind while the male guards accompany him on a jog. That same day, at a restaurant with his friend, Olumide notices a waitress offering Kachi red wine. His friend teases him about being nice to her, but Olumide brushes it off and asks him to focus as they discuss business. That same day at home, Kachi felt pressed and needed to use the restroom. The housemaid directed her upstairs. As Kachi entered, she unexpectedly saw Olumide, her boss, not fully dressed. Embarrassed, she quickly apologized and left, while Olumide teased her. That night, when Olumide got home, he handed Kachi a small bag containing a gift for her daughter and insisted she go home. Once home, Kachi joined her daughter in prayer before giving her the gift, which helped them bond further. Meanwhile, Olumide dreamt of having a romantic moment with Kachi. When he woke up, he realized it was all just a dream. The following morning, Olumide's friend brought 2 ladies to his house for him. When Olumide arrived, he was upset and took his friend upstairs to discuss it. Olumide expressed that he didn't want the ladies, but his friend persisted, questioning why he wouldn't enjoy himself since his father wasn't around. Then, his friend realized Olumide had feelings for Kachi and immediately took the ladies away. That night, Kachi discussed strategies with her security team while Olumide walked in, looking downcast and insisting that no one follow him. Concerned, Kachi approached Olumide and expressed her worries about his mood. He suggested they drink together, but Kachi refused. He then told her to go home and spend time with her daughter. When Kachi got home and saw her daughter sleeping, she held up a red dress and received a call from one of her fellow guards, which she answered. The next morning, Kachi's daughter was in the living room, telling her mother she didn't want to go to school. Kachi, however, persuaded her to go, and they left together. At Olumide's house, the housemaid offered Kachi a glass of water and informed her that Olumide hadn't come downstairs yet. The housemaid then revealed that it was the anniversary of Olumide's mother's funeral. Later, Olumide spoke with his father on the phone before hearing a knock at the door. It was Kachi, holding a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. She expressed her condolences and suggested they have a drink together. As they drank, they shared pleasant memories and bonded. Olumide playfully suggested that Kachi wear feminine dresses more often, mentioning how he had seen her in a classic dress in his dream. He then revealed that, in the dream, they made love. Kachi was surprised to hear this, and they kissed before she received a call and rushed home. When Kachi arrived home, she discovered her daughter had been picked up from school by someone unknown. Panicked, she and her mother searched for answers. Kachi called her ex-husband, venting her frustration, but he denied being involved. Soon after, Kachi received a message from a strange number, claiming they had her daughter. The caller demanded that Kachi hand over her client, Olumide, whom they were targeting, in exchange for her daughter within 2 hours. As Kachi's mother panicked, Kachi remained calm and reflective, thinking about her last moments with her daughter. She then called Olumide and asked him to come to her house. When Olumide arrived, Kachi offered him wine, telling him he might need it. Later, she took him to the location given by the kidnappers. She called the abductors and told them she had brought Olumide. Some men came out and carried him away, as he was tied up. Just then, a van full of law enforcement officers arrived and apprehended the kidnappers. Kachi quickly called her team to confirm if they had located her daughter. When they assured her that her daughter was safe, she felt relieved and at peace. The movie later reveals how Kachi discovered the identity of the man who kidnapped her daughter. It was Olumide's friend. She had been observing his suspicious behavior and the way he carried himself. Kachi worked with Olumide to convince him that his friend was behind the crime. Though initially skeptical, Olumide eventually believed her after seeing the evidence she presented. To catch the culprits, Kachi's team cleverly disguised themselves in Olumide's clothes to mislead the kidnappers and ensure a successful operation. In the end, Kachi hugged her daughter tightly, feeling immense relief and happiness. The following day, Kachi met with Senator Olumide's father, who commended her efforts in protecting his son. He expressed his gratitude by rewarding her as promised and assured her of valuable connections with his influential friends. The next week, Olumide spoke to Kachi over the phone, and their bond deepened. During the call, Kachi suggested they go on a date, which Olumide gladly accepted. Kachi prepared for the date with elegant makeup and a stunning outfit. When she met Olumide at a classy restaurant, he was amazed by her sophisticated appearance. They enjoyed their time together, growing closer as they shared heartfelt conversations. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this captivating Nigerian movie. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more interesting Nollywood movies.